Jaya 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 Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 5 of Adi Leela, the glories of Lord Nityānanda, Balarāma. We have verse 99.
101.
101. Okay. I'm supposed to read from 99 onwards. Yes? Okay. Anyway, so this is 101. Sahasra Charana. Yes. So, this is Bengali. Any Bengalis here? You are Bengali? So, I'll try to say it correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Sahasra Charana Hasta Sahasra Nayana Sarva Avatara Bija Jagat Karana Sahasra Charana Hasta Sahasra Nayana Sarva Avatara Bija Jagat Karana Sahasra Charana Hasta Sahasra Nayana Sarvavatara Bija Jagat Karana Anybody else? Ladies? There's only one, two. So this is actually, it's all in one translation, and we did the second part, so what we're going to do? It's a little weird. So, Sahasra, thousands. Charana, legs. Hasta, hands. Sahasranayana, thousands of eyes. Sarva Avatara Bija, the seed of all incarnations. Jagat Karana, the cause of the material world. So, translation, purport. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-yoga Swami Prabhupada. I'll read the first part of the verse because it's one translation. Ananta Shayate Taha Karila Sharam Sahasra Mashtapatara Sahasra Badan Sahasra Charana Hasta Sahasra Nayan Sahasra Avatara Bija Jagat Karan. He who is Let's see, who is he? Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. He lay there with Ananta as his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes, and thousands of hands and feet. He's the seed of all incarnations and is the cause of the material world. And there's a purport, short purport. In the reservoir of water first created by the perspiration of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, the Lord lies on the Shesha plenary expansion of Vishnu, who is described in Srimad Bhagavatam and in the 4 Vedas as follows. Now this is Sanskrit. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sadhumin Vishvato Pritvatyati Dasangulam. The Vishnu form called Ananta Shayana has thousands of hands and legs and thousands of eyes, and is the active generator of all the incarnations within the material world. Now I'm going to go back and read from just the translations from 93 onward, because this chapter explains the glories of Nityānanda Ram. And there has been an explanation that about Karanadakashayi Vishnu. And then in verse 93, the author, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says, I offer my full obeisances, because now he's explaining the 10th verse of the Mangalacharya. These first chapters of Adi Leela explain the beginning verses. The first one, the first 4, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now Nityānanda Prabhu, then Advaita Prabhu, and then Panchatattva. So this is an explanation of the 10th verse. And the 10th verse is this one. I'm going to read it again. It's 93. It's the same as the 10th verse in the beginning. Yasyam shangsha shrila garbhota shayi yanabhyabjam loka sangata nalam loka shrashtu sutika dhamadatus stang shritya Sri Nityānanda Ramam prapadye. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityānanda Rama, a partial part of whom is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu sprouts the lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. After creating millions of universes, the first Purusha entered into each of them in a separate form as Sri Garbhodakashayi. Entering the universe, he found only darkness with no place in which to reside. Thus he began to consider. Then he created water from the perspiration of his own body, and with that water filled half the universe. The universe measures 500 million yojanas. Its length and breadth are one and the same. After filling half the universe with water, he made his own residence therein and manifested the 14 worlds in the other half. There he manifested Vaikuntha as his own abode and rested in the waters on the bed of Lord Shesha. He lay there with Ananta as his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes and thousands of hands and feet. He's the seed of all incarnations and is the cause of the material world. So I'm going to continue to read a few more. From his navel grew a lotus flower, which became the birthplace of Lord Brahma. Within the stem of that lotus were the 14 worlds. Thus the Supreme Lord, as Brahma, created the entire creation. And as Lord Vishnu, he maintains the entire world. Lord Vishnu, being beyond all material attributes, has no touch with the material qualities. Purport. Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana says that although Vishnu is the predominating deity of the quality of goodness in the material world, he's never affected by the quality of goodness, for he directs that quality simply by his supreme will. It is said that all living entities can derive all good fortune from the Lord simply by his will. In the Vamana Purana it is said that the same Vishnu expands himself as Brahma and Shiva to direct the different qualities. Because Lord Vishnu expands the quality of goodness, he has the name Sattva Tanu. The multifarious incarnations of Kshirodakashai Vishnu are known as Sattva Tanu. Therefore, in all Vedic scriptures, Vishnu has been described as being free from all material qualities. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Harirhi nirguna sakshat purushat prakrite para sasarvadrik upadrashta tang bhajan nirguno bhavet. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is always uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, for he is beyond the material manifestation. He is the source of the knowledge of all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, and he is the witness of everything. Therefore, one who worships the Supreme Lord Vishnu also attains freedom from the contamination of material nature. Bhagavatam 10.88.5. One can attain freedom from the contamination of material nature by worshipping Vishnu, and therefore he is called Sattva Tanu, as described above. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadanti Kam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gauravani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutedevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhureva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is all inconceivable, at least to me. The verse we have here speaks of Anantadeva, and he is a divine serpent. Thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes, and thousands of hands and feet, and the seed of all incarnations in the material world. So, who can understand this? Not me. And on top of this divine serpent, there lies Garbhodakashai Vishnu, right? Who is a partial manifestation of Lord Nityānanda. So we cannot even imagine inconceivable glories and potencies of Lord Nityānanda, who is the second body of Lord Chaitanya, or Krishna Balarāma. Balarāma is described as the Dvī-rupa. He's the same, they're both the same, there's no difference, just the color is a difference, and the mood, and the certain things. So, and everything is coming from them. These are now the glories of Lord Nityānanda. So this Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, he lies on Ananta Shesha, and then this lotus flower comes out, and Brahma is there, and whatever we have here, this description. So let's focus on this last purport which Srila Prabhupada explains, citing Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushana, that the Lord, although he functions here in this case as the Guna Avatar, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, taking care of the quality of goodness, but it is pointed out that although he does that, he's never affected, not even by the quality of goodness. So we would like to be affected by the quality of goodness because generally it's passion and ignorance, which is a problem. But even this apparently such a good quality as goodness, it's still a contamination. And even devotees, pure devotees, in one sense you could say they're even beyond the quality of goodness. Sattva-tanu, that is the word used here. Actually, the idea is to come to the stage of Shuddha Sattva. Pure goodness, not just goodness. And the Lord actually, of course, is situated, that's the transcendental realm, Vishuddha Sattva, beyond the three modes of material nature. And whoever engages in the Lord's service, Sagunan Samati Yaitan, he goes also beyond Mamchaya Vyavicharini, Bhakti-yoga Sevate. By engaging in the Lord's service, well, there's some quality included without deviating. So then, Sagunan Samadhi Yaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, one actually comes to this level of beyond even the quality of goodness. Because as Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, yes, if you develop the quality of goodness, you go up. Urdhvam. One can rise in the material world. In India, everybody is very much conscious of maybe going to a higher planet. Maybe now they are forgetting this. They think going to America is a higher planet. They don't know they're actually going to Patala. But at least in the past, or maybe still some, know, yes, there are higher planets, and if one is pious and develops the quality of goodness, you can go there in your next life. So, of course, we know that this is not a good idea. And therefore it is pointed out in Bhagavad Gita, and by Srila Prabhupada especially also, that this goodness, if it's developed, it provides a certain feeling of well-being. One feels good, that's what's called goodness. And then one becomes attached to that feeling, and that means you become again conditioned. There's very little impetus to become free from material life. You feel too good, it's too good. Too good is not good. There should be some bad. Yes, actually it's true. If we forget that it's a miserable place because everything is so good, then where is the impetus? Therefore, Queen Kunti points out, those who have all these so-called good things, like good birth, good income, good, nice features, bodily features, beauty, and good learning. It's all so good that you cannot approach the Lord and surrender and take shelter. What for? It's also, everything is good. They advertise it. You have seen from LG.
Life is good.
Life is good. They want to tell you, forget about all the bad things that maybe no, life is good. If you buy LG, then life is very good. And our life will also be very good. We'll become richer, and you have a beautiful, how many inches now is the top? It has no limit practically. Thousands of inches, super screen, and then anyway. So this is not good. If material life becomes too good, then one becomes completely illusioned. So anyway, the point here is that Nityānanda Balarāma, he's the source of all these inconceivable expansions. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, then Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, which is who is described here, that he is then spread out all over the creation, entering not just all the different hearts of the living entities, also even each single atom. And he's then the witness of everything. Then the Upadrashta, that is in the verse mentioned here, and of course from Srimad Bhagavatam, he's the witness of everything. And therefore the conclusion is that one who worships the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu, because he is beyond material nature, one also attains freedom from the contamination of material nature. So this is the idea. Anything else we can say? Any comments or questions? We always hear so many questions, we didn't have time for all of them. So now we'll see. We have some time.
Yeah, half an hour. Yeah, half an hour.
Yeah. So let's see whether we can fill the half an hour with questions and answers. Otherwise we can continue to read also. Yes? Oh.
Maharaj, on one of the hoods of Ananta Shesh is the earth lying, or on many hoods? Is it like one of the hoods?
What? On one of the hoods is what?
Like of Ananta Shesh?
Yeah.
Like earth is there on the hood of Ananta Shesh. So one of the hoods or all the hoods?
You're asking a good question. I have heard that he carries all the universes on his hoods, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can find out. We have some time. He changes battery. Give me 1 minute. We find out about something of Veda-based hoods of Ananta Shesha.
Yes.
We'll get some,
Yes.
hits. Let's see. Very interesting question. Because as far as I remember, he carries like little mustard seeds. He sustains the universes on his hoods, isn't it? Well, let's see whether this will come. Interesting. Ananta hoods. Let's see. We got 68 hits about Ananta and hoods. So let's check out what we have. Hit list. Okay, first one is from Bhagavad Gita. Prophet says, it says there, Ananta, he sustains all the planets on his hoods. Then in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, this is when Brahma comes from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. It's the third canto. A very beautiful verse, actually, I can see here. Just as a sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body, who is lying on Ananta, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was the self-situated tree, the Lord of all others in the universe. And as the sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, So the Lord's body was also covered by the hoods of Ananta. So you know how Ananta Shesha is lying, and then the hoods are like this, and then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is lying. So here in this verse it says, all the hoods, because there are thousands of hoods, they are covering, like a canopy, practically, they're covering the Lord's body. Then, well, there's more descriptions like this from the third canto. Let's see about this. Here we have a description, fifth canto. Wow, this is the glories of Ananta, just right for us. The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Shesha or Ananta, has unlimited strength, unlimited fame, unlimited wealth, unlimited knowledge, beauty and renunciation. So he's beautiful, man. Don't think. Snake. Krishna is inconceivable. Even when he appears as a snake, it's absolutely beautiful. As described in this verse, let's see the verse. This describes Ananta. All the great sages, this is Shiva is speaking. All the great sages accept the Lord as the source of creation, maintenance and destruction, although he actually has nothing to do with these activities. That's confirming what we have done today. He is actually beyond. He's not touched by his activities, even when there's creation or destruction or maintenance. Therefore the Lord is called unlimited. Although the Lord in his incarnation as Shesha, Ananta, holds all the universes on his fluids, it's confirmed, I didn't speculate. All the planets, all the universes, how? Don't ask me how it is possible simultaneously, all the universes and all the planets within. Anyway, so all the universes, each universe feels no heavier than a mustard seed. So I remembered that. And so if you have a mustard seed on your head, will you feel it? Even 2 mustard seeds you will not feel, right? Even probably, if it's a bag of mustard seed, probably you will, because we are limited and our strength is limited, so if we have a big bag of mustard seed on our head, then we start to feel it. Ananta Shesha doesn't feel even millions and billions of universes on his hoods. So that's the situation. Therefore, what person desiring perfection will not worship the Lord? So again, now we see the purport. As described in this verse, Ananta's strength is so great that the innumerable universes rest on his hoods. He has the bodily features of a snake with thousands of hoods, and since his strength is unlimited, all the universes resting on his hoods feel no heavier than mustard seeds. We can just imagine how insignificant a mustard seed is on the hood of a serpent. In this connection, the reader is referred to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes. Adi Lila, chapter 5. Verses 117 to 20, now we have to read again, 117 to 25. There it is stated, maybe Prabhupada just summarizes here for us, that Lord Vishnu's incarnation as the serpentine Ananta Shesha Naga supports all the universes on his hoods. By our calculation, the universe may be very, very heavy, but because the Lord is Ananta, unlimited, he feels the weight to be no heavier than a mustard seed. So what was your question?
My question was that
whether the earth is on the hood. Well, it's included, definitely. If all the universes are on the hoods, the earth is included.
I would say that including Earth, like all these planets are there. So on a single hood or on many hoods?
There are so many hoods, why it should be on a single hood?
And
Well, if if we take what we have heard, there's unlimited universes and unlimited hoods. So I don't think all the unlimited universes are on one hood and the other hoods are... So what about us? No, I mean, let's speculate or conclude that they're spread out. If we want to think, we think like this, but it's unlimited. It's inconceivable. Therefore I said in the beginning, whatever we have heard, it's all inconceivable. Isn't it? It's really inconceivable. But we have faith that this is not just a story. People will think, if they read this, and you're all crazies, how can you think there will be some snake somewhere in the universe with, unlimited hoods and all that, and there are planets resting on the hoods? I mean, a scientist will be all stupid. We know. We think we know. It's all different. They're just, anyway, whatever they think. So,
and Ananda Shesha is always glorifying the Lord. From all the hoods.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So, who's listening to this glorification?
The Lord. He's glorifying the Lord. So it's for the Lord to hear. And if we are fortunate, then we can also hear. Because somewhere it may be recorded, no? Whatever the glorification. But it is said, because the glories are unlimited, although he's glorifying continuously, he doesn't come to the end. That description is also there.
So when it appears that his knowledge is more than Vedavya's, then why doesn't he compile the scriptures?
You're asking me? I don't know. How do I know? Let's hear whatever we have. I think we already have so much that, if we read the scriptures we have, it's already going beyond our capacity to, and who reads that? I'm not going to ask now. Who has read all the Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto to 10th, chapter 13, at least what Srila Prabhupada translated? Raise your hand. Who has read the whole thing? One. That's not good. What about Chaitanya Charitamrita? Not just Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Antya Lila, from first verse to last verse. Who has read it? One lady. Fantastic. Thank you. So for how much time you have had these scriptures to you at your disposal? You don't have to. They're already there, in Hindi translated since a long time.
Yes,
so there's no excuse that you haven't read. And you're talking about more descriptions, more books. No, just let's read the books we got. Okay, so here. Oh, this is a nice verse. 117, Srila Prabhupada mentioned. It says, the same Lord Vishnu, now in the form of Shesha, it's all the same Lord in different forms. And don't forget that. Holds the planets upon his heads, although he doesn't know where they are. So now don't ask me why he doesn't know. I don't know. If he doesn't know where the planets are, what are you asking me what I should know? For he cannot feel their existence on his heads. That's a good, conclusion. I mean, that's what it says. It says like that. Hena nahi jani. Bengali, he didn't. I didn't. Anyway, hena nahi jani. I cannot understand. That's what it says. The translation, word for word. So Shesha thinks, I don't know where they are. I don't feel them. Now, his thousands of extended hoods are adorned with dazzling jewels surpassing the sun. Imagine. There are jewels on each of the hoods. They are brighter than the sun. Okay. Now the universe, which is this one, rests off one of his hoods like a mustard seed. So, maybe we can now speculate. There are unlimited universes, unlimited hoods. So one universe for one hood. That makes sense. And we shouldn't forget that Ananda Shesha is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. So if Ananta Shesha can identify as a servant of Lord Krishna, why shouldn't we? No, Ishwaraham, Aham Bhogi, Siddhoham, Balarāma Sukhi. You understand? It sounds like Hindi. It's Sanskrit. I'm the Lord. I'm the enjoyer. I'm perfect. I'm strong. It's all crazy, you know. I mean, I'm not even strong. I'm not perfect. You know, what am I talking about? But certain presidents in the world, they say like that. You know, look at me. And probably not only one. All of them think like the same. Maybe Modi doesn't. He's modest, you know, little more devotee. Anyway, any other question? Yes. Give the microphone so we can hear.
First, there you said Jagat Karani. So, there, by creating the universe, first, with the perspiration of his body, the water was created. So, half of the universe was filled with water. So, in that, earth will also come. Earth is also filled with water, half of the whole earth.
Did you understand?
Basically saying that in the universe, if half the universe is filled with water,
Right.
so Earth should also be submerged in water itself because half of it is filled with water. So Earth should also be submerged in water.
Should, but is it? Are we submerged in water?
Geographically, we see that more than 50% of the part of Earth is water.
So, what's the problem? We are above the water, fortunately. Otherwise, we would all be fishes. You know? I mean, try to understand what the description is. Half of it is water, okay. Then on top of that lies Ananta Shesha with Garbhodakashai Vishnu, isn't it? They're not floating, they're not inside the water swimming like a fish. They're lying on top. Then the lotus flower comes out, and there are all the planets. So all the planets are above the half water portion. Is that clear?
And then there is darkness all around there.
That's darkness, and then of course we have this demon Hiranyaksha, and he throws the earth in the ocean, and then Varaha comes to rescue it. So the earth is not now in the water. I don't think. I don't see any water. We are floating. We are floating in the air. We're not swimming in water. But we have some part of the water in an ocean, you know, and then we can also experience. Anyway, it's all above the water, but it's dark. The universe is dark by nature. So the only thing that illuminates it is actually the sun and the jewels on Ananta Shesha's heads, which are more brighter than the sun. But otherwise, if there's no moon, no sun, no fire, electricity, the whole thing is dark. Therefore, we are in darkness. We have to get out of tamasima, jyotirgama. And don't stay in darkness. We are in darkness. Don't stay in darkness. Go to the light. Why now there is no darkness? Because the sun has come up. Before the sun came out, just a few hours ago, it's still even at 6 practically, at 5 o'clock, it was dark. So,
when does creation of sun happen?
when did the creation of sun happen?
When God created sun.
Mike.
Because once upon a time when Hanumanji also swallowed that sun, when there was all around darkness.
So
is the sun only in the illuminating part?
I'm not sure I understand the question again.
He said that when did the sun came into existence? Because in between it happened that Hanumanji also swallowed it, and then it reappeared. So
we should be grateful that he, spit it out again. I mean, what kind of question is this? I don't know. Brahma creates everything, so he creates also the sun. Don't ask me how he does it. Ask him. If you ask scientists, they'll have their own speculation how it all came about. That's the difference. They think it all just exploded somehow, and then what is the sun? Is something
some hydrogen nuclear fusion reaction.
Right. So you ask him, he can explain to you. Or you go to Google, right? We can go to Google. We don't want to do that. Wikipedia, sun. They will have all the speculation how the sun came into existence. But we take it that Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, he manifests Brahma. It's all dark. And then Brahma, he's also confused. So he prays, he does tapasya, and then he becomes enlightened by the Lord. And he gets also creative power by the Lord. And with that creative power, he creates everything, including the sun. What's the problem? That's our version. Otherwise you believe in the Big Bang, and then you also get a sun. Just explodes and just happens. Suddenly it's there. So whatever, it's there. It doesn't matter how it came about. Who cares for the sun? We have nothing. We don't want to go to. You want to go to the sun? You can go to the sun. So then what? Who cares? How it's created? It's already there. It's shining. Let it shine. And we want to get out of. Forget about the sun and the moon and the whole thing. Any other?
Maharaj, as Anand said, is within the universe.
Is?
Within the universe.
I think so.
Vishnu is right.
Yes. Yeah.
Then how he is holding the universe? Because he is within the universe.
That's why I was saying it's inconceivable. That's the first thing I said in the beginning. I don't understand. How can you understand? So how is it that the Lord can be simultaneously, here and everywhere, and in every atom, and in every heart, and then He's in Goloka Vrindavan? How is that possible? I don't know. Achintya, right? It's always the best explanation. It's all inconceivable, so don't ask questions. But it's a fact. I think it was Srila Jiva Goswami who said, unless we accept the inconceivable potency of the Lord, there's no Krishna consciousness, basically. You cannot have a conception of God, because that's what it means. Right? And because we have, all our experiences are limited, so therefore, if we hear God is a person, and He has, like here, hands and legs and this and that, and we all immediately calculate according to our experience. And therefore, it's not possible that you are inside the universe, having the universe on your head. Right? It's not possible. So, now forget about all this. Take this book. It's useless. Yeah, they have to have a little faith that it's inconceivable to our small, tiny brain, but it's possible. I mean, imagine, have you seen some ants? You have some ants here?
Yes.
Whatever ant is here, they're quite small, right? How much do they know about this building? I mean, if they're really determined, they could try to go everywhere and see everything, right? And understand what's going on here. But probably very unlikely, right? So this is just one small building in Dwarka, not even Delhi, Dwarka. How many more buildings are here? So how much will the ant know about, next door skyscraper building? How much? Anything? Nothing. What about the rest of Delhi?
Less than nothing.
Less than nothing. Good. I like that. So Delhi, I'm going to say something, don't be offended, is an insignificant city on this planet. No, it's the capital of India, of course. It's the most contaminated practically. If you take Gurgaon was just yesterday I read, it's the most contaminated city in the world. You're the greatest contaminated. I am the most contaminated city. Haribol. So what this ant here, which is right there, what does it know about Delhi and the rest of India and the whole planet? And that Earth planet is just a little tiny speck in the universe, and the universe is a small universe. Brahma only needs 4 heads to govern it, and there's millions of universes. So, and we are like that ant. So how can we understand that Ananta Shesha can have the universes on his hoods, but he also is within the universe, lying on the water, and Vishnu is declining and, lying on Ananta Shesha. And then this is described later on, as it is said here, he is the servant of the Lord. So he manifests himself not just as the bed, as the umbrella, as the shoes, as the Brahman thread, in so many different ways. And also, he manifests Vaikuntha as his own abode within the universe, Svetadvi. So everything is actually inconceivable. And Srila Prabhupada in the 70s, when he was discussing with Swarup Damodar about the origin, the whole thing about origins and how scientists speculate how things come about, he was many times referring even to simple material phenomena as mystical or inconceivable, just like a seed of a lemon, right? If you plant it, then you get a lemon tree with so many lemons, and in each lemon there are so many seeds, and in each seed there's a tree which produces so many more lemons. So how is that possible? How can you have a tree within a small seed? And it's a lemon seed will produce a lemon tree, not another tree. But there's other seeds who will produce a different kind of tree. Or the fact that the earth, everything comes from the earth. So different flowers come from the same earth and they have different fragrances. How is that possible? A rose will smell in one way and a jasmine will smell in a different way. And then, a champaka, whatever you have, so many flowers. So each one has a different fragrance. But it all comes from the same earth, same water. So how does that work? We cannot understand. That we cannot even understand. There are so many things scientists can, simple things, Prabhupada says. I just shaved my head. But again, this will grow. It's really a nuisance. But it will grow. How does it grow? I don't know. You cut your fingernails, and then they start to grow, and they're growing continuously. How? I don't know. It's inconceivable. Even that is inconceivable. So what to speak of anything spiritual or transcendental, that's completely, even material things are inconceivable. The material creation, in many, practically in all, whatever, if you start to analyze it, it becomes inconceivable. How all the information of the DNA is put into this string thing.
Spiral, strand.
How is it possible? And I think, what was it? How much is the DNA? They said the information contained is more than a 1 terabyte hard disk. So that's a lot of information in something you cannot even see. And then how many are there of these DNAs?
Millions.
So
there is RNA also. Apart from DNA, there is RNA also.
He knows. Ask him. How many cells are in one body? Depending on the height, about 60 to 100 trillion. And in each cell, the DNA is, all this is going on. So this is absolutely inconceivable.
It is mentioned it is more complex than New York City, each cell.
So he can tell you. But it's a fact. I mean, if you analyze how this cell works, it's like a factory, with so many different things, and it all perfectly synchronized. Not one piece. If you take out one piece, then the whole thing doesn't work. Like a machine, you have like this machine. You take any part out, problem. red lights, it doesn't work anymore. Then you have to put in the piece, even if it's a small screw. Okay, now it can work. So, the body is like that, and so it's inconceivable how it works. So what to speak of the universe and whatever we have read. So this is a very important point. If we have a little faith in the Supreme Lord, we can accept the inconceivable potency He has, and He can do whatever He wants and whatever, what. Even if it sounds completely fantastic, why not? Like the story of the cobbler and the Brahmana, and then Narada Muni tells him that the Lord was pulling an elephant through the eye of a needle, and the Brahmana said, ridiculous, so he actually never went, And the cobbler said, wow, fantastic. Just see, my Lord, what do you... And then, why do you believe that? Oh, why not? And he was telling me about it. I'm sitting beyond, underneath this banyan tree, and there's so many seeds falling on the ground, and in the small seed, there's this whole tree inside. Now, why not pull an elephant through a needle? What's the problem? If you can put a tree into a seed, why not an elephant through a needle? There's no problem. You can do that. So thousands of hoods with thousands of universes, no problem. Simultaneously in the water, yes, why not? No problem. He can do whatever He wants. And He can also liberate us. That's, I think, we take as the final message. Because He's Sattva Tanu, don't forget that word. He's beyond the material qualities of nature. If we take shelter, we worship, and we become conscious of the Lord, Krishna conscious, and then think of Him when we leave the body, goodbye world. We join Sattva Tanu in the other world. Okay, we're just on time, more or less. So, thank you, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Isi Gaurita, Isi Kumini Lakshmi Shtakata Balade Subhadra Giri Govardhan ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.